Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who do not know me, I'm an American expat living in South Korea and currently a foster mommy to a sweet little dachshund named Lou, who I just picked up from the vet because he got fixed. And he's wearing the cone of shame right now, so you guys can meet him next time. Today I wanted to talk to you about the other side. You know, that thing that all of us like to avoid, exercise. There are a few different reasons that I wanted to go over exercise, mostly because there are so many different options and they all tend to range in difficulty and expense and commitment, and you either need to find something that you really like or have a wide variety of exercise options because you tend to get burned out if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. When a lot of people start trying to change their lifestyle, a lot of times they tend to just go balls to the walls, and the enthusiasm is great, but it's very short-lived. And the problem is that this takes a lot of dedication. You're basically trying to change something that you have been doing your entire life, and slip-ups happen. I had fried chicken for dinner last night. Nobody's perfect. But when you set an unrealistic goal for yourself, these slip-ups tend to happen more and more and more until it snowballs out of control and you end up right back where you started, back into your same old eating habits. This is true for eating habits. This is true for exercise. Most of my life, my active moments have mostly revolved around riding horses. I have been riding, showing, and training for about 25 years. And throughout that history of exercise, I've also dabbled in roller derby, lifting, and figure skating with some running kind of peppered in here. But if you look at all of these pictures of these activities that I'm doing in my adult life, I'm still fat. Remember guys, losing weight is 80% diet and 20% exercise. You can't out-exercise a bad diet. But you have to remember that just being skinny isn't a measurement of health. Some form of exercise is necessary, not only to build some strength, but to have a healthy heart. The extra calories you burn do give you a nice little extra weight loss boost. So sometime last summer, I decided that I needed to at least get moving. I wasn't actually losing weight because I was too busy stuffing myself with chimek and cheese ramen regularly. But I did actually need to get moving, but gyms here are very expensive. So I started walking, just kind of a slow walk at night. I would do maybe a mile, maybe two, and it would take me between an hour and a half to 2 hours. But it was really all that I can do. And I actually have one memory of one night, my knees and hips were hurting so badly, I was squatting down in front of one of the convenience stores, just trying to give myself some sort of relief. But I just, I had to just keep pushing on through it. I cannot imagine what people who weigh 2 and 3 times what I weighed feel. I mean, the pain has to be excruciating. But the important thing was that I just kept at it. I used to do things like call my mom or listen to a podcast or something like that, just to kind of keep my mind occupied so that I wouldn't get bored and that I would just, keep it up. After a couple of months, I decided that I needed to start upping my speed because I couldn't add any more distance. I had been adding a little bit more every single day, but at this point I was going to be walking 3 and 4 hours every single day, and I just don't have the time for that. It just wasn't a sustainable workout thing. And so of course I decided that day that I was going to start running marathons. I started running about 30 seconds at a time during my walk, and that was it. Every couple of days, I would add in another 30 seconds, and then another one, and then another one. Then the 30 seconds turned into minute-long segments. But I never pushed myself past what I mentally wanted to do, and I think that really helped it become a lot more sustainable. Building on that was the only way that I could actually sustain the habit and not feel really terrible about myself. Building on that was really the only way that I could sustain the habit. And I kept going until eventually my walks turned into runs. Last August, I completed a 7K race with my boyfriend, who has been so supportive during this whole journey. And honestly, it really has helped having a support system during all of this and not feeling so alone. But I will talk about that another day. I understand running isn't for everyone. Between you and me, I hate running. I hate the process. But there are a few reasons why that I have decided to choose it as my main mode of exercise. Reason number 1, it's relatively cheap. When I started walking, I did not buy any specialized equipment. I just used what I had and started running. When you do actually start running, all you need are a pair of running shoes, and unless you're running, marathons, you don't need a super expensive shoe. Now, when I did start running longer distances, I did invest in some compression clothing to kind of keep everything tight and held in place, so I didn't feel like I was flopping all over the place when I was running, because nobody likes that. However, if you are heavier, I do suggest that you go and get properly fitted for a good pair of walking shoes to give your knees, hips, and ankles some extra support. Reason number 2, you don't need a gym membership. Like I said in reason 1, running is a really inexpensive way to get exercise in. And because you don't need any specialized equipment, you can do it anywhere. And I prefer to run outside. It's more fun to look at than getting on a treadmill. Reason number 3, runner's high is real. After you start to get pretty decent at it, it does start to feel good. And I get this major sense of accomplishment when I finish. I can look down at my little app and see how well I've done. I can see my split miles and see how much faster I'm getting. When I first started running, I was doing a 15-minute mile, and now most of my miles tend to hover around the 11-minute mark. And I know that's still a pretty slow mile, but it feels pretty good. Now, this video isn't here to convince you that marathons are the way to go. It's just the method of exercise that I chose. And if you're looking to start some kind of new exercise program, pick something that you can stick to. Find something that isn't too extreme, and each time you do it, just do a little bit more. Instead of trying to run 3 miles, go for an hour-long walk. Instead of going from not at all to every single day, try going 3 times a day. Remember, the first couple of months is just simply building the habit, and honestly, that's the absolute hardest part of it. Don't make it any harder than it needs to be. But with all the options out there, what kind of exercise do you like? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't, before you leave, make sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.